Okay, what did you think of Raw? I don't know. Aren't we like super close to WrestleMania right now? Why doesn't this feel bigger than it should be? Am I an impatient man? Probably. Come on, we have like 2 weeks or whatever till Mania. This Raw didn't feel like it had the big moments to lead up to it. It kind of felt like a little bit of a filler. We didn't have John Cena. We didn't have Cody Rhodes. We had CM Punk. We didn't have a big promo or anything from him. We didn't have Roman Reigns. A lot of SmackDown people. But we'll find the goods in all of this. There is some good stuff. So let's start with this contract signing. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky. I feel like I have done this before. This contract signing was to officially make it a triple threat at WrestleMania for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. It might surprise you, but I'm generally very kind of optimistic or try to look on the bright side of things. But this is going on really, really long. Like, it's taken a long time to get to Mania for this triple threat that we've known about for a very long time. So they basically ran it back again. Why did they have to sign a second contract? Didn't Rhea already sign one contract, or did that just make everything null and void? Because of what she did. But now we got a fresh piece of paper. Now we have this contract. Io did do like the drop kick and then hit Rhea into Bianca, but they did the pie face thing again to Io. That's like the third time they've done that for this. Also, who is, in the grand scheme of things, who is the babyface and who's the heel? Io, I think, is cemented babyface. Babyface champion. She doesn't like being pushed around. I like Io in all of this. I think Bianca is feeling like a little bit more heelish, but she's also got like all of the justification in the world, doesn't she? She won Elimination Chamber. She dealt with that and her friends just killing each other, and now she's got this match and she had to be a special guest referee, and she's dealing with Rhea just inserting herself. Rhea is the one that's the problem here. She's the problem child in all of this. I don't know what else they could have done, honestly, because I do think that this is, they just needed to get this contract signing done so that they can move on to what the next kind of like last two shows will be, where they're going to try to build this thing up. Maybe do something differently. Maybe not just, a promo in the ring, a contract signing. Maybe we'll do a contract signing again for the contract signing, something like that. Very curious though what they do at WrestleMania. Who's gonna get the belt? I don't see it being Io retaining. Kind of feel like it could be Bianca, and I'd be pretty okay with that. Kind of like to see Bianca go on a real heel run, but maybe it won't. Maybe Bianca will be more of a face, and maybe Rhea will have a change in character. Kind of feel like Rhea needs a change of character here, ladies and gentlemen. The babyface run of Rhea Ripley, it doesn't feel all that great. Now what was great, Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I thought this was a great match. These two put in a lot of work. There's a lot of great spots in here. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Lyra retained against Bayley. These two will be tagging together for the #1 contendership for the women's tag team titles. This is where I found it a little confusing just in terms of the overall story and what they could have maybe have done differently as I sit here, because I'm obviously the booker, right? These two have been going back and forth for quite some time since like Queen of the Ring, I believe. A good face versus face rivalry, and they're going to be working together. I do wish that they set it up, maybe they did and I didn't see it, but I wish they set up a little bit more of like, hey, we're going to tag together to go after the women's tag titles. Like, these two having this match together was very good, but I think they could have built on the story of the women's tag titles, how they're going to be going after that. Maybe the fact that they do have the team up. And the women's intercontinental title. So what I like that they're doing with Lyra is they are now, for the last several weeks, have been giving her more TV time, more matches, putting on good matches, and I'm enjoying it. And that's what they need to do to establish a little bit more. I think that she needs more promo time, do a sit-down interview, do something to get us to understand her character a lot more. It does feel like she's not going to be at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title, and then maybe she gets on the card with Bayley by winning that gauntlet match. Bayley, since losing the women's championship, like way back when on SmackDown, I don't know if she hasn't done a whole heck of a lot, has she? She kind of lost as a face. Bayley may need to go back as being a heel at some point. Maybe she turns on Lyra and that's the direction. Okay, one of my favorite things we got from Monday Night Raw, El Grande Americano, the coffee is here, ladies and gentlemen. Love Chad Gable in this, and we are gonna get Chad Gable versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. This 6-man tag team match they did on Raw was high action, high pace, a lot of fun, and El Grande Americano, they did that spot the LWO did where they ran and he jumped off his back and then he did the dive on the outside. That was awesome. They really showcased what they could do here. Why oh why American Made is not in the tag division, like going for tag team titles, I don't know. But El Grande Americano, Muy bueno. I am so into this, and I think that the match against Rey is going to be it's a lot of fun. Now, this tag team match did end where Mr. El Grande Americano, he is dastardly heel, and he went to the outside to Ivy Nile, and he said, put a rock in my mask. Not the Brahma Bull, the final boss, the rock, but give me like a piece of stone that you found outside in the parking lot. I'm going to shove it in my mask and my eyeball. And then, well, bam, he did a big headbutt off the top rope. Match is over. Rey is calling shenanigans. He does not like El Grande. It's Rey Mysterio's problem, and it's not El Grande's problem. Kidding. Looking forward to this match. I think it's fun. It shows that how much Chad Gable can do with different characters. He was Shorty G. That was a thing. But he's done so much over the years, and while this is probably going to be a short-lived gimmick, and it's kind of like a wrinkle in order to get Chad Gable versus Rey at WrestleMania, you know what? I'm here for it. It's a ton of fun. They're gonna put on a great match, and I hope Chad Gable wins. He just feels like Kurt Angle with the comedic timing. He just kind of nails whatever he is given. He pulls it off. This is so much fun. Because I don't want Rey to win at Mania, because then what? You got no more El Grande Americano. I don't need that. We need a big Grande. Okay, then we have Jey Uso, #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, going up against Gunther. Gets in the ring, and this was Jay's moment to be able to really just kind of wag his finger at Mr. Gunther for destroying his brother last week, which I thought was amazing, and it's exactly what this feud needed in order to kind of get it going a little bit. We didn't need a little bit of the crisis of confidence with Jay slipping on a banana peel every week. They did it the right way with the beatdown and the blood and all of that, and that was, I think, was the right thing. Now you had this where Jay is basically just like, I'm coming for you, brother, and he's going after the world title, and he's doing it for his brother. So you needed that explanation from Jay. Gunther just stood there and just kind of took it and laughed it off, which is probably in tune with Gunther's character pretty much, like where he's always just kind of shrugging things off. And it's like, you got nothing. Like, you're talking about my mom and stuff. Well, I thought that this was effective. I think that could have used maybe like Jay just smacking him in the face, or even Gunther maybe taking it to Jay one more time. But it was a talky segment just to be able to have Jay say, hey, I'm coming after you, and it's for my brother, it's for my family. It did get Jay a little bit more serious, and you needed that. So he's got to, whether he's scared or not, because that's part of his character in all of this, he's scared of Gunther, like he said, and now he's got to confront him, and he's going to take the world title, which I think he will win. Now, the next one is the New Day versus the War Raiders tag team match. Tony Hinchcliffe is on commentary. This was, I think, a mixed match casting, I think, for segments. You want a Tony on commentary because you got to plug the Netflix thing that they're doing with WWE coming up for WrestleMania. Okay, fine. Put him on commentary, him and Cole and Pat having some giggles. Fine, that's all good. I think that this was just a mixed match of segments with the commentary and the tone they were delivering, because New Day and War Raiders were going at it, trying to just destroy each other. We got chairs. It ends in a disqualification. The New Day kind of screw over War Raiders. There's the beatdowns, the threatening of the chair spot where like Kofi's gonna take him out with the chair. There's all this stuff. It kept building. There's some really good spots in here. I just could not get into this match at all because of the commentary, because they were too busy giggling and Tony's trying to crack little jokes and stuff. It just was a mixed match. Like, if you wanted to have him in there, do a comedy segment and have him talking ringside or talking on commentary about it. Something where it's a little bit lighter, because this was not it. You were trying to do a more serious angle in the ring. And I feel like Cole and Pat couldn't get back to being serious. They would just almost pop in being just like almost classic Vince of just, wow, what a maneuver. Like, that was it. So I think that took it away from what was a very good moment, a very good match. This is clearly setting up, because it ended in disqualification. Clearly we're going to get this at WrestleMania. Maybe they will do something where it's going to be no holds barred, which would be a lot of fun. If they give us a New Day versus War Raiders straight up tag team title match at Mania, I don't think that's enough. I think they gotta spice it up. Let me know what you guys think. Speaking of which, I was hoping if I could take a second with you, if you would do Matt a favor here, hi, and hit the subscribe button, because what we're trying to do is get to 50,000 subscribers by WrestleMania, and the clock, as I have no watch, it's a ticking, ladies and gentlemen. But even if you don't, I just appreciate that you're here, you watch a video, you hang out with me, and we talk a little bit of WWE. Penta versus Dom Dom. We got the confirmation that we were going to get a fatal four-way match at WrestleMania. Braun Breaker, Intercontinental Champion, versus Penta versus Dom versus Finn, as we all suspected, and this confirmed it. And now I think we're gonna get this week, we're gonna get the singles match between Penta and Dom like we did. Penta picks up the victory over Dom Mysterio, and I think next week then we'll probably get another match where we'll get maybe Finn versus Penta or Braun versus Finn. Probably. And they'll just trade victories until we get to Mania. I'm excited for this fatal four-way, and I thought this match between Penta and Dom was very good, all to lead to the ending. And Braun Breaker's spear, he's figured out his spear, ladies and gentlemen. Braun knows how to just lawn dart himself now to make the spear look huge. I know he's got like the super spear thing where he runs back and forth, but I love that he just came down, he decimated Carlito, he got in the ring, he nailed spears on everybody, and then Finn got involved too, and then he stands tall with the Intercontinental title, which is the one thing you don't want to do before title matches, hold the belt. Who's your early pick for this? For me, kind of lean towards Dom Mysterio. I know Penta would be great, because he's the babyface in all of this, and it'd be great to see Penta with the title so soon. I just think it would be very interesting if Dom picked up his first singles title. I know he got the North American title in NXT, first singles title on main roster. Yes, gets that, and then you get Dom and Finn and that whole thing. Maybe Finn is kicked out of Judgment Day and who knows who the new member is. Maybe it's Rusev. That would be weird. Then you have your main event segment, Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. It's a talky segment to end Raw. Seth coming in to basically talk down Paul about how Roman Reigns never took care of him. He lost at Mania 40 thanks to Seth Rollins. He then went away. He didn't take Paul with him. The new bloodline, Solo, they all decimated Paul Heyman and took advantage of him and beat him down and powerbombed him, and Roman was nowhere to be seen. And this starts to get to Paul Heyman. And then he talks about CM Punk. How Punk went away for 10 years. And they like to romanticize and reminisce about the good old days. And then he didn't take him with him. And now he's back and they all want favors and all this stuff from Paul Heyman. I think this is an effective segment for Seth, because one of the interesting theories out there that I like is the possibility of Seth Rollins walking out with Paul Heyman at the end of WrestleMania Night 1. I just think it'd be cool. It should be something different. Like, otherwise, what are you doing with Seth post-Mania? Because I feel like you got Punk and Roman, they can go have a singles match. Seth would be kind of cool if he was with Mr. Heyman. Now, this breaks down with Paul Heyman actually kind of pushing back on Seth Rollins, which I like. Paul doesn't usually become the aggressor in there, but as Paul Heyman got shoved to the corner by Seth, CM Punk runs down to try and save Paul Heyman. They go at it with each other. Then Seth Rollins hits a curb stomp onto CM Punk, and as Paul Heyman is going over to try and help CM Punk, Seth looks like he's gonna hit a stop, and he stops himself before he hits it onto Paul Heyman, leans down and says, "You owe me a favor." There's too many favors. Everyone needs a favor from somebody. I get it. Now, is this more mind games from Seth? Is there really going to be a favor from Seth Rollins? Like, this just feels like it was chucked in there. It's almost like a haha, get it? Well, I saved you one time, now you owe me. So Seth not hitting a curb stomp onto Paul Heyman, does it really result in any type of favor? Are they really gonna do that? Or is it really just, again, Seth messing around with Roman, messing with Punk? Regardless, I like it, and I like Seth's role in this now, because for a little while it was feeling like Seth was kind of the third wheel, and I was more so just focused on Punk and Roman as its own match, and Seth was just kind of there. But now they're giving Seth a little bit more to work with, which I really like, and I think that you could see something interesting for the finish at Mania. I think they need to. Yeah, you're gonna have Paul and Punk coming out together. You're gonna have Roman all angry. He's on Raw next week, probably to address this, and we'll spin the plates around, and you'll have Roman and Punk and Heyman talking together, and then Seth will do something else. It's a good dynamic right now, but I don't feel like the ending to Mania 41 is going to be Punk winning and just walking out with Heyman and it's all clean cut. I really feel like Seth is gonna do a little bit more here, and I'm all for it. I think it'd be exciting. But Raw wasn't that exciting. It didn't blow me away with a big reveal or a big moment, just more setting the pieces and making things kind of official. It was like more of an official night for everything for WrestleMania, because the card is pretty much locked in, minus who is going to take on the women's tag, and does Chelsea Green get a title match at WrestleMania. Now, I'm gonna go and finish more coffee, as I do with my Homer Simpson mug here, which I absolutely love. And if you guys can, click this video here to watch more content, subscribe to the channel if you like, hit the like button, have a great day. See ya.